What a pleasant way to be back here again by the grace of God. His mercy endure forever. And we're happy that we can come back to join you here with another presentation of our broadcast here in the Issues Room. Today is November 24, and it's Friday. It's called Black Friday here in America, the day after Thanksgiving, the Friday after Thanksgiving, where we have big sales. We say thank you for joining us wherever you are. Welcome to this broadcast. Tonight is our 201st broadcast, meaning 201. Okay. And I say thank you so much for your viewership, for your time with us. You have shown us your commitment. And for that, we say thank you to those of you in Liberia. Join us here tonight, wherever you are in Monrovia, in its environs, and the rest of the country. Those of you in the sub-region, those of you on the continent of Africa, in Europe, in Australia, in Asia, in Canada, wherever you are, we say this is your show, the Issues Room. We are the alternative social media platform emanating out of Liberia. We're established to discuss the issues trending in the country, in Africa, and here in the Black diaspora. We welcome you. I'm Volcano Shelton here this evening. We're going to have a good time. The conversation here is going to be a good one. We're going to be looking at three important, distinct topics. One of those topics is whether the CDCians are suffering from loss and grief. We have a career licensed counselor who will be helping them with some form of advice. I wouldn't call it therapy, but some form of advice so that they can cope during these moments. Because it's evidence that Jefferson Koijee is really bitter. He's bitter, and we're going to play some clips here and there. We also want to talk about the comment or statement from Albert Chie, the current Pro Temp of the Senate of Liberia. He's calling for a government of inclusion. Yes, I think you don't have to tell Boakai. He knows he wants a government of inclusion. But do you think he's going to be bringing you on board? Well, that's his choice. But you don't really have to tell him because you didn't tell President Weah that you wanted a government of inclusion when during your time it was one-sided. All right? And finally, what is the future of President Weah after the inauguration on January 22nd, 2024? We want to know, is he going to go to Jamaica and retire in the white sandy beach, in the turquoise blue water, enjoying coconut water? You know, what is he going to do? Is he going to come back to Florida or to New York and play with his dog Roxy? Or is he going to continue dancing buka? Now he'll be a free man to make music. So we're just going to look at that. So we say thank you, Fergie Monyu, not rather Amma Freeman, for coming through. Please share the link, invite people to join us here tonight because we really want to have these kinds of good conversation like we always do. Moses, you look a little relaxed, ready for the show tonight. The one, rather 201st broadcast here, and it's going to be a good one. Welcome, my brother.
Definitely, indeed, it's going to be another good one. Thank you, Volcano. And let me just piggyback on what you said that the issues room is where you want to come to get the news of the day. I would like to add on by saying that we are the shakers. We get to the core of the issues, we analyze the issues. The outcome of the 2023 runoff election tells how powerful the issue room is. We made a case, and Liberians listen. So we want to say thank you to our people for the decision that they made on November the 14th. So once again, it's a pleasure to be here with you. I know maybe later Alphonso is going to join us. But again, I want to say it's always a pleasure teaming up with you. If we come to discuss the issues that matter most to our people, all we are interested in is a better Liberia where the rule of law will prevail. Thank you again for being here.
Yeah, and you're right. And when I heard what you said here about the contribution of the issues room in these elections, over the year that we've been established, and the messages we've been propagating for good governance. We proffer a lot of advice to President Weah that fell on deaf soil. He didn't pay attention. We made it emphatically clear here that the president, we had nothing against him as a person, as a human. In fact, we were happy that he was blessed to be the president of our country. But the things that he didn't do, and all of those things that we kept talking about, is the reason why the Liberian people saw through the microscope. They analyzed all of the things under the microscope, and they couldn't see some of the most positive things that he could have done, with everything being the darling boy, the most loved celebrity of our country, and being blessed with this glorious land of liberty. And he sunk the country in absolute degradation.
Yeah.
And unfortunately, we have people out here who are congratulating us, calling us job seekers. I just responded to one of them and I said, indeed, I would love to work for my country again. Matter of fact, you and I know when we worked at LBS, we literally almost worked for free.
Yeah.
And if I could do it for free, then I can almost do it for free now. Okay. And I would love to. And if you don't call this working for my country that we're doing here, we come here twice a week, we put in the time, we could be doing other things that will put monies in our pocket, but we've never come here on this platform and put up the cash app and the Zelle and all of that. It's because we're working adults who come in out of pocket to make contribution to our country. And I see them putting up their cash app number. They are, luring people to support them because they don't have it. They are the hustlers. So when you point to us and say we are hustlers and we're seeking for job, oh yes, I will seek for job in Liberia because this is the dispensation that I want to participate in. This is the time that the intelligence that I have gained over the years, the qualification, the education, the competences, the imbued competences, the long-term abilities to function in a society where there can be accountability and the rule of law in the order of the day. Yes, I want to be a contributor. I want to be one of the think tankers. I want to be one of the brightest minds to contribute to the rebuilding of our country and to move it forward. So for those of you who think that what we propagated was the support for Ambassador Boakai, you can go on with your thought. We mentioned the opposition. We saw a collective opposition. We gave President Weah the opportunity to clean up house, to improve things. So when we were speaking here, we were speaking for the Liberian people, but we were leaning on the opposition. And a lot of you supported the oppositions because you didn't come to the finish line. Does that mean that now we're looking for jobs? When you came on our platforms and commented, now you're calling us hustlers? Yes, I would want to be a hustler. I would want to. Go ahead, say all you want. But I bring substance to the table. I bring a lot to Liberia. A lot Liberia can benefit from me. And I'm being honest here tonight.
I mean, you could not have said it any better than what you did, Volcano. I just want to say we did what we did because we felt that there was a need for change. And again, like you said, we come here not as, quote unquote hustlers. We come with skills. And if people in Liberia get to the point that, hey, I think we need Moses Sandy, we need Volcano Shelton, or any other Liberian abroad to contribute to national development in Liberia. I don't think that anyone, should say, "Oh, these guys did it because they wanted to be in government." I'm comfortable. You are comfortable. We have managerial skills. Not only that, we manage other people who look different from us. So it tells you that we are really comfortable here. We are well paid as well. We have some level of control over, our daily living. Yeah, in that. Oh well, we calling around, asking for chicken change. Oh man, I need gas and stuff like that. No, we are indeed comfortable. So even if an offer comes, you got to factor all of these things in. You're not pulling Moses Sini to Liberia to go and work for you, and you have to go and sit for 2-3 hours waiting for an appointment. I don't have the time for that. So we're going to factor all of these things in. When the opportunity comes, when we think it's the right thing to do, of course we will accept to do, but we are not, begging. That's the message we want for people to get tonight. And we didn't do it because we wanted to be appointed, to positions in government. So
But
anyone who thinks that way is
most,
is unfortunate.
and then most of the interesting thing here is, and we'll
Mm,
let it air quickly, is that when you think about the grounds and how the people perceive people from the diaspora, now we're not saying that everyone who went to Liberia went there with good intentions, right? We're
mhm.
not saying that the people who were brought from America or from the diaspora in general and brought to Liberia and screw up for everybody. They screw up for themselves. The records are there. You still have bright minds in this country or across the world outside of Liberia who are willing to come and contribute. You were the grassroots. We gave you the country for 6 years and you threw the country in the drain, right? So,
Yeah.
what are we talking about here? Are we still going to be divided on the issue of who works in government again? Are we going to
Yeah.
be divided on the issue of who has something to offer to our people? Is that what we're going to go with this? Or are we going to say, listen, everyone comes to the table, send your resume, send
Yeah.
your send your expertise, and let's look at it and see if there's somewhere that is comparable. It's about
Yeah.
commensurating,
Mhm.
putting people to where they belong, not putting people because of partisanship and they have nothing to offer those places and they last there for years. Just all they do is stealing and stealing and stealing. They can't show you anything. They can't show you deliverables. There's no audit. And now they call for audit and you're scared and you're having a nightmare. They call for audit and you want to pass out. Yes, because you were in these positions for 6 years doing nothing. You brought nothing to the table. It was all political patronage and partisanship. You didn't come there with no skills. You're not competent for these roles, and that's why you can't develop.
Yeah.
And it's a sad thing to say here tonight that the same people who continue to call you and myself, or those of us who propagated for change and a
Mhm.
positive change, and today God heard us and we're blessed to be a part of that process, they're the ones who don't even have anything to offer.
No.
Nothing.
No.
You
No.
understand me? So
Mhm.
again, we just wanted to clear the air that the issues room is a balanced platform. If President Boakai elect come to power and he doesn't do what is expected of him, the issues room will talk about it.
Of course.
The
We'll
issues
call
room,
a spade a spade.
the issues room will say the truth, will point to what he's doing well and point to what he's not doing well. We've done that with President Weah. It's just that we couldn't find too much to go off on. We just couldn't find too much to go off on. I'm not going to be a praise singer for someone who is not really delivering. I mean, because you build little parks around the place, those parks wouldn't last 10 years from now. You put artificial turf and things in places where 2 seasons of the weather turn everything danger. Go and paint your house in Liberia and let the rainy season comes through. By the time the dust come back, you got an old house,
Then you gotta
you
repaint
know.
it again.
Yeah. And then we don't have the maintenance because once it's built, it's used, that's it.
That's it.
I'll be surprised if the bathrooms are even looking clean right now. So the
That's true.
issue here is we have done what we had to do. And again, we will continue to do what we have to do because it's for our country. But Moses, we came here tonight to talk about before we continue. Elvis Morris, welcome back to the show. Good to see you here. We appreciate you. Come back again and invite others to join us here. I want to welcome Maria Gardel and Manis Sumo tonight. Please uh, share our link, invite more folks to join us here tonight. As we were talking about the elections and the result, you and I know that some CDCians, if not most of them, are still angry at President Weah for a hasty, as they put it, uh, concession speech.
Hmm.
Um, they frowned on the president's action, which has been applauded across the world. I've seen a lot of commendations coming from even other leaders in the sub-region and across Africa and the world,
The great United States,
commending him for the effort, even though I'm not too strong on that, because I thought it was his constitutional obligation to uh, honor what the people decided.
of
They
course.
honor him in 2017. He got the presidency through the votes, and they decided that they were going to fire him.
Mhm.
So for elements within the CDC to remain disgruntled and bitter over um, this decision, I would be surprised, because it was not Boyka, it was not Moses, it was not George Weah, it was the Liberian people who decided their destiny this time around. And
Definitely.
it must be honored. And so we see Jefferson Koijee turn into a madman. He's been different press, holding quick press conferences here. It's a total disregard for President Weah. I've
Absolutely.
been in other chat rooms where they said that's why some people say that President Weah did not lead with respect, because why would Jefferson Koijee be jumping ahead of the president and going all over the place and spreading wildfire? Moses, you are a clinical, licensed clinical uh, social worker. You deal with counseling on a daily basis. You meet with people who are suffering loss and grief. Um, let's play some clips and then tell me,
Yeah, play the
do
clips.
you think that Jefferson
Mhm.
Koijee, being
Yeah.
so bitter, the papers
Hmm.
are talking about his actions, representing the erratic behavior he's displaying, if
The anger and all of that.
if
Yeah.
he's suffering from loss and grief. And the
Hmm.
reason for that is these folks came in 2017, 2018, and declared 12 years without doing the work for 1 year. The cumulative work done by CDCians in the last 6 years is not even good enough for 1 year. And they
Yeah.
were projecting 12 years. And they didn't see that the pendulum was swinging, and it's strong probability that the chair could slip from under them. And today he's sitting on the floor, and now he doesn't want to accept it. So let me see what we got here for Jeff. All right.
Yeah.
It categorically clear that the election was stolen. There are evidence that can be empirical and empirical facts. It's very pointed out. It's been established. It happened here with Ellen Johnson Sirleaf in 1985. She ran at elections and she said she was not taking a seat and said to us, so some of you reach out to me, want to be clear to you, we do not participate in a government where the mandate was stolen. We stay here with the people. Come out. We stay right here. We got zero intention to participate with a process that has the cloud of a stolen mandate. Have the cloud of a stolen mandate. We will not. We stay here. We look after the people, and we, with 1 inch, people have been encouraged to be kind. They have been encouraged to stay, but to be extremely robust, vigilant. So sedition, honor our first, who are here to be informed. On Saturday, there will be a mass gathering. We ask you to come at the party headquarters. We'll be converging at the party headquarters, and we'll be able to meet with you in segment and inform you. And you're facing this reality. This is where we are. Don't feel abandoned. Don't feel somehow. This momentary moment shall come and pass. And you can rest assured, we will not abandon you in any form and manner. We were with you before, we were with you yesterday. You can be rest assured, we will always be with you as your leader, and we'll be here. As we lead you, we shall never lead you from the back. We will lead you from the front. Sedition, we convince in your fortitude and your tenacity and your courage. We are aware what you're capable of going through. You, sedition, you can surmount this these processes and these women. I want to say to you, remain kind. The beast is greater than anything. But if anyone who think that because you were given a chance out of our goodwill, and you think that is sufficient enough to intimidate, you are sadly mistaken. That is not possible. Without one of you who want to bring war into this country, that Mr. Boakai, who said that if he doesn't win this country, the country will end. We don't have to end a country or we don't have to end a country on a mere quest of ambition. No. We know other people going through this country. No single Liberian have to spare their life. No blood need to be spilled here. We will not do that. We will jealously protect this peace. We want to inform our partisan. We are deeply involved in the legislative elections as the party. Very soon we come to you. We will be fully involved. We want to be grateful to the Liberian people. We think democracy is at work. We have close to over 27 representative seats. We have close to 15 senators. That tells you exactly that the democracy of our country is on a trajectory, and we prepare to support it. CDC will remain the biggest beacon of hope, the biggest beacon of democracy in this country. We are prepared to hold them in history. You will remember us. If we can't be remembered for anything, our working to salvage the peace, to maintain the peace of this country. We did it in 12 years. We did it in 6 years, 18 years. We have done nothing wrong but to ensure the safe guardians of the peace of this country. That's what we did, and that's what we are known for. And that's why there's no price too high for people like us to submit and to ensure that the peace of the Liberian people is being well preserved. So let the world go for that the CDCians are clear, that these elections were not won, these elections were stolen, and we appreciate the fact that the standard bearer who have conceded, who were, but will not get the fact. That will not get the fact. Let the record go clear. That these elections were not won. It was going on record that these elections were stolen, and that there are facts to be proven towards that. We have everything at our disposal. Should we challenge it to say stop? No, we will not do it. Because we did it. To the extent, thank God, they stole election 2 different times and they killed our people, we let it go. This time around, they stole it, they're not in charge. So we're not going to engage into risking the life of our people. We're not going to do that. We'll risk nobody's life. We will accept that the election was stolen, but at the same time, you can go ahead and we wish you the best to govern the Liberian people. Come and deliver what we did not do. Or you can rest assured, we will be at the barricade. If you have never seen anything as vigilant as possible, the Liberian people can rest assured. We appreciate them. They did extremely well for us. We are here. We are not disruptor. That's how we are. They are trying to do things and they know. But for us, we will take you on. You will be dealt with in accordance with the issues that is relating to the people. We will not compromise on that. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Volcano.
Was this Andy? I know
Yeah.
you quick, but I want to say it.
Yeah.
This guy is all over the place. One minute he's threatening, another minute he's trying to be magnanimous, another minute he's trying to incite rather the crowd. What's wrong with Jefferson? What's wrong with the little boy?
Look, Volcano, before I even go to I wear my clinical hat.
How can opposition steal elections? I don't know how to make it.
I don't know, but everything you saw him do.
You say you won't wear your hat? You won't
no, what I'm saying, no. When I said before, I wear my clinical hat.
Okay,
everything you saw that man doing are symptoms of what? Loss and grief. The denial. He just can't accept that. This is a news that nobody in the CDC wanted to hear, that they have lost power. He can't accept it. You heard the man say the election was rigged. Can you imagine opposition rigging election from a sitting government? You see? And he said the CDC will remain what? Vibrant. They're going to participate in legislative elections. So he has gotten to the point of acceptance that, hey, It is what it is. Nothing we can do, but we'll come back. And even Joe Weah said that, right? So let me bring you these letters so I can do some clinical analysis here for people to really have an understanding of what when we speak about loss and grief. What does it mean? How do people cope when they are in situations like that? So I got this audio recording that people send to me, and let's go through them. A couple of us CDCians really regretting. And
Everybody is doing it. What everybody is doing? For sacrifice, but in that, but there is something and about shame and disgrace. Well, the first thing is, why would the people say that a lot of thing to be happening in their own region? Now to say letting here the margin is one. If to say the people really on one margin, if only were at least 40%, I will have no hope on it. But every day will be to 49%, 49%, but the people were to 50. What is this thing from 49 to 50? And the people keep sitting at that and there is nothing is being done about it. The thing I read 100% total, but what in the thing I read 99%. 99%. 99%. See, this is 30 to 49. People waiting 50.11. What's it again for us to do now? What's in the people follow? What kind of disgrace they want to bring to people here? They don't know if they will get a control to the people. As small labor will be finished for the effort. The country will get hard. Things will be difficult for everybody. I know they put in like a sense that I don't understand what going on in the country. They won't put the country in stupid people in here. Instead, I hope I don't know what that 1%. I ain't really cool 1%. What they will do for if it can change no more. What they will do for us? Oh God, oh my. The boy right about top with the boy was not about top with the matter. What about the boy? They might complete yeah. Wow, president to you. Wow, president to you. I have a one I go in here. I have a one I go in here. I have a one I go in here.
yeah, so Volcano, you heard it, and many viewers out there heard these people literally. Some willing, regretting what happened on November the 14th. This is what we call loss and grief. First, let me help people know I'm a licensed master social worker. I'm a clinical social worker. I also manage other social workers. My job is to talk to people, help myself, provide clinical services to individuals who have mental health and substance use problem. I have 17 years of clinical work experience and managerial work experience in the United States. So I'm not selling my resume, but I just want people to know that I'm not going to be speaking on the surface. I'll be speaking as a professional in this business. First, when you hear loss, what does it mean when we speak of loss? The word loss, spelled LOSS, is a noun. It means misplacement, deprivation, forfeiture. And let me give you some examples. When you get terminated from your job, that's a loss. When a relative of yours dies, that's a loss. When your bank account is hacked into, by criminals. That's a loss. You were married for 30 years and you went through a divorce. That becomes a that becomes a serious loss as well. When you relocate from one region, like us here in the United States, we left Liberia where we grew up, where we went to school with other people. All of our friends that we had that we relocated to this country, we had to start making new friends. That's a significant loss. That's a significant loss, even in terms of culture, the kind of food and all of that. So when we speak of loss, we're talking about misplacement. When someone loses something, that is considered a loss. Now, the next word we should also define here is
Quickly, Moses,
yes.
Dean Wilson is asking whether the folks who, especially the woman who were crying, was it more like a joke? Or was it like a skit or something?
Well,
You don't know?
it is difficult for me to say
Oh,
that.
all right. Okay, continue.
Yeah, yeah, But what I was saying, Mr. Shelton, is the next word that comes along with loss is grief. And when we speak of grief, we're talking about our response to a loss, how we respond. Take, for example, in our culture, when someone dies, our response is mourning, a time of isolation, a time of quietude. You don't want to go to party when a relative of yours just died. If you got terminated from your job,
Mhm.
that comes with serious sadness because now you are wondering how you're going to cope with your bills, how you're going to sustain yourself. The sadness that comes along with that is grief. How you manage the loss that the loss that you have just experienced. Some people, their staff managing uh, loss or responding to loss is different. I'm sure some people may have heard about people self-medicating, meaning that when people self-medicate, they use substances, either drugs or alcohol, as coping mechanism. So we have both positive and negative coping mechanism when people are faced with loss and grief. Some people, in terms of positive thing, they back off from the situation, they listen to music, they relax, they do some other things that we engage in. Some people work. Take, for example, say you went through divorce, don't want to keep that in your mind. You say, you know what? I have to keep myself busy. I have to keep talking to friends. You're trying to what? Manage that situation. Some people, they say, well, you know what? I would just go, like we say in Liberia, I would just go and get high. It may buy, smoke more marijuana. Because what happens when you're under the influence of any substance, your problem is taken away temporarily. Immediately the high goes, the problem reappears. Then what do? You
Go
go
back.
right back to the liquor store or you go back to the ghetto. That's why you have all these young people in Monrovia today that are addicted to substances because that's the only coping mechanism they have known over the year. And these substances are very addictive. Okay, now let's come back to the discussion we're having tonight. We say the CDC, CDCians, including Mr. Weah himself, are dealing with loss and grief. You heard Jefferson Koijee, right? The way he spoke, Mr. Koijee, Mr. Weah, Mr. Tue, even Vice President Joe Howard Taylor.
Oh, yeah, that's another one.
Yeah, all these people did not, when they heard that Omer Boakai had won, it was a disbelief.
No, no, not when they heard it was when it was projected.
Yeah, when it was
Yeah, it
projected,
started from Friday, you
yeah,
know.
when it was projected and even announced,
Then
that's not the kind of
we are
news that they
then when
wanted to hear.
we are call him, no, he
Yeah,
said he
they
don't
said
want
no, this
yeah.
is this is not real, man. So
Mhm.
you see Jefferson Koijee saying the people's store and all of that. You heard the ladies crying because that's not the kind of news that they wanted to hear. Whenever people are faced with loss and grief, people go through stages. The first one is denial. You can't believe it. You don't want to hear. It's like I'm sitting here. Let's say I show up to work on Monday, and my boss come and tell me, "Say Moses, we need to have a meeting with you." And she takes me to HR manager. He said, "Well, Mr. Sandy, unfortunately, we just can't keep you." I'm gonna say, "What? But what did I do?" He said, "Well, we have just decided that we have to let you go." That's not the kind of news I want to hear on the Monday. Showing up to work. So what do you think gonna happen? Anger. Oh, you guys are picking on me because I'm a black man. And the other day, your day days. That's why Volcano, as a manager, I'm sure sometimes when you're letting people go, there are always people in the office because some people can explode, breaking stuff
Mhm.
because they are in the face of what? Anger. A relative of yours dies, people breaking stuff. No one wants to hear that. The woman, you come home, the woman said, "Look, unfortunately, the relationship is not working. I'm out of this." Some people run to what? To the kitchen and grab the kitchen knife. Anger.
So let's
They
look at
just can't deal
Jefferson.
with it.
Yeah, so let's look at Jefferson Koijee here.
Yeah. So
He's
go
displaying
ahead.
anger.
Mhm.
He's being
He's
accused.
angry. He's in denial. He's being accusatory.
Yeah, so he's being accusatory.
Yeah.
You know, a lot is going on,
Mhm.
and interestingly, he's not accepting it. Then he wants to accept it. Then he wants to praise what they've done with the peace. But then in the same vein, he say, I don't care what you do. We will spoil it here. And
Well,
so listen to him. Listen to him.
yeah.
I'm
Yeah.
going to bring him. Then you come.
Yeah. So yeah, go ahead.
He said, we'll spoil it here. I don't care what, if you try anything, we'll spoil it here. My man was sporting, my man.
Yeah.
Let me bring him over.
Don't provoke them. At the point of committee, don't provoke them. Judicial capacity to defend themselves.
Yeah, that?
Make no
Yeah,
mistake.
you see that?
People, don't provoke them. At the point of committee, don't provoke them. Judicial capacity to defend themselves. Make no
Making
mistake.
threats.
Any situation called upon others say such a thing is happening in that community, you can rest assured of it. An immediate and effective response.
So,
So yeah, so Volcano.
the man won't Banji. The
Yeah,
man
so you
said,
see, yeah, go
I
ahead.
said, where do here? You can bring out, you
We
can bring
can
out,
defend ourselves.
you can defend us.
Right.
What you
So
defend yourself on?
the man is at the second.
Come here. What you defend
Yeah.
yourself on? Even in the football game, the George Weah who play the game, when your man beat you,
Yeah.
they don't boo you.
The boo you,
Your own spectator when Lone started beating the hell out of
the
Lone
boo,
Star.
yeah, people, people can get violent on the football field, yeah,
What about a plastic bag?
yeah, throwing
So,
out, yo,
so when
yeah,
you lose, as a loser, you should expect to be booed. You should
yeah.
expect people to tease you, to taunt you. But does
Mhm.
that mean you got to come and fight war? Go ahead,
Yeah.
Moses.
Yeah, so as he spoke, he was at the second level of loss and grief, the second stage of loss and grief, the denial. The denial. CDCians are willing to defend themselves. The issue of anger. He's angry. Is there anything we spotted? Then after that, after you leave the second phase, what happened? You get to the point of bargaining. This is when you ask all the questions. What could we have done to prevent this from happening? Right? You
Sorry.
heard you heard Mr. Weah the other day when he spoke. When he went to his church, Volcano, you heard him say
Sorry.
that. Mhm,
Sorry. Good.
mhm.
Go ahead. Sorry.
You heard Mr. Weah when he went to his church. You heard him say that they lost because there was internal rivalry within the CDC.
Mhm.
Some people were blaming other executives. Some people were blaming somebody that he referred to as a minister. I don't know whether he was talking about Minister Tue. And some other people had a problem with mobile money and all of that. So he was simply saying that we have our own problem. What could we have done to prevent what we are currently faced with? It's the same old thing with us in our personal life. Let's say you had your uncle who was ill
Mhm.
in the hospital. You never visited him. People reach out to you. They say your uncle needs help. You look the other way. Now you get this death news that your uncle has just passed. You can't believe it. You get angry. You get to the face. You begin to blame yourself. Oh, what could I have done to save my uncle, to prevent this death? Is what the CDC was dealing with. That's what Jefferson Koijee, the ladies you heard saying, now, my people, what these people, the other ladies said they were at 49 and all of that. They're regretting what they could have done to save the situation. Then after you leave the third level or the third phase of loss and grief, you go to the point of what? Depression. Have you heard from Eugene Nangwe? Have you heard from Samuel Tue? Have you heard from Nathaniel McGill? Have you heard from George Weah? Yes, you may have heard from George Weah, but I can tell you many nights Mr. Weah goes to bed, he's not getting regular sleep because he just can't imagine that he's no longer president. The sadness, the isolation, the loss of appetite.
No,
Some of these guys,
he's
yeah,
still president, but the one
yeah,
I
but
coming, I coming,
to go for re-election, yeah.
but I'm coming.
I mean, yeah,
The one that would make it hard for them.
yeah,
The last scripting they wanted to do, the World Bank put a freeze.
yeah, all of that,
Yeah,
yeah.
so that the real part there, the World
Mhm.
Bank say no more borrowing, no more money.
Yeah,
They're just glad the last 2 months out and you go for auditing. We ain't giving you nothing.
no,
So indeed, yeah.
yeah, so the depression aspect, where they find it difficult to sleep at night, some of them, what do? Drink alcohol, smoke marijuana, use heroin. Because when they are under that influence, they don't recognize that they have a problem. That's what happening with the CDC. And the last phase of loss and grief is acceptance. You saw what happened in Monrovia today, right?
No.
Mr. Weah, and Omer Boakai with the joint transitional team met.
Oh no, yeah, okay.
You
If
saw
that's
me
what
at the executive
yeah,
mansion,
yeah,
right?
if that's what you're
So
referring
it means the president and his executive have gotten to the level that this is what it is. It is beyond our control. Now we have to adhere to everything. We have to comply with this process. This situation is irreversible. That's acceptance right there. Now you're strategizing how to cope, how to manage your life, how to transition. George, we are planning now is what does he do after inauguration come January 2024? How is he going to manage his property? How is he going to manage his personal life affair? Samuel Tua is also thinking in similar way. Eugene Nangme, the very Jefferson Koijee today, that was saying all that thing, you heard him say that, hey, the CDC will remain intact. They will participate in legislative elections. You heard him say that, right? So he has accepted that, hey, yes, they lost. They lost bigly, but he strongly believes that they will be able to muster the courage to make a comeback. So that's how loss and grief come. And most people, when they don't know how to manage this problem by using positive coping skills, they turn to substance use. How do you cope positively? Talk to a therapist, talk to a family member, remain connected. Do what you like to do best. Exercise, listen to music, have fun. Do not isolate yourself. When someone dies from you, remain engaged. Mr. Weah, remain engaged. You were not born as president. It was just a short time.
Mhm.
You will still do well. Jefferson Koijee, you were never city mayor. Now your plan should be about how you move your life forward. Don't run to the liquor store. Don't run to the ghetto. All of
I
that
don't
will not
start
help you.
inciting people.
Thank you. Yeah, don't incite nobody.
We will spoil it here.
Yeah, nobody's supporting anything. Now you have a duly elected government. Few months or few weeks from now, these people will be in power. Jefferson Koijee will have no access to state security. So don't endanger your safety to say, oh, the thing here will spoil it. There's nothing there for you to spoil. Joe Weah himself cannot make any attempt to spoil anything. He cannot undo anything now because he has spoken. The international community heard him loud. They have commended him. He can't come by and say, oh, I may spoke. No, no, no. Mr. Weah, we are already spoken.
Or he Peter Justin spoke under duress when he went
So
to the piece
that's
of
my
court in
clinical
Ghana.
advice right there, Mr. Shelton.
Thank you, thank you. I think you did
Yeah.
you did an excellent job.
Thank you.
So let's hope that CDCians can understand that acceptance is that last part of the loss and grief process,
Yeah.
and you have the right to mourn, you have the right to grieve, you have the right,
Yeah.
but in the same token, as Moses has put forth some coping mechanisms, utilize them. Hopefully you will heal. It's just a matter of time. You will
It's
heal.
a matter of time. It's a gradual process,
Uh,
You will heal.
Guys, if you're just joining us here tonight, we are in the issues room. This is our 201st broadcast. We'd like to welcome all of you here tonight. Our man Dean Wilson, it's been a while. Hopefully you're doing great. I hope all of you who are here with us tonight had a great Thanksgiving. Amma Freeman, Mohammed Kumar, we say thank you. Thank you, Thomas Awaji, for joining us here. Shaggy McCaffey, thank you. Manan Sumo, of course, Dorothy Savis, thank you for coming through here tonight. Idea Ha Umo, Fergie Monyu, Elvis, all you good people, we encourage you to continue to come and join us here. What we're talking about here is about our country. What we're hoping for is an improved society. And all of us can do that collectively. Your low input, that's why we give you the opportunity. It's not like other platforms where you're trying to say something, they're cutting you off in 30 seconds. We give you the opportunity. We post what you write. We open the lines, we gave you the chance to make your point, and we've been very, very open. So we say thank you for coming through. It's Tuesdays and Fridays, 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time and 12 midnight in Liberia. Again, this is our 201st Moses Sandy Volcano Shelton here together. Now, Moses, the current pro tem of the Senate,
Yeah.
Albert Chie, has called him, President-elect Joseph Boakai to form a government of inclusion. Now, Mr. Chie has a job to do. He has his position. It has not been tampered with in terms of being a senator, but he runs the risk of not being the pro temp, potentially. Everyone has been saying that that position might likely go to Yumble Kanga Lawrence, the rescue mother of the rescue train. But again, they have to,
Yeah,
vote.
they will vote. The
So
Senate will vote.
it's just speculated.
Mm-hmm.
His call for a government of inclusion, and we'll go to him quickly before
Yeah, not listening to
we,
him.
his call for a government inclusion. Why now? Why he didn't say the 6 years when the government of President Weah was one-sided? I mean, one-sided at the key position. Even the MDR political leader, Prince Johnson, lamented that the top positions were all Southeasterners.
Mm-hmm.
And even the promises President Weah made to those who collaborated in the
The
coalition,
NPP, the
that's what I'm
NPP and
saying,
other political parties.
in the
Yeah.
coalition, that's what I'm saying. In a coalition, he did not live up to the promise. And now that Albert Chie is asking President Boakai, to form a government of inclusion right away, just like that, you know. But Boakai has said it. He said he will form a government of inclusion. So I don't see why would he, want to throw his voice at it, because Boakai has come with an intent to go across the aisle. You've seen the formation of his transitional
The
team.
transitional thing, you
Sarah
just took
Yanti,
it from my mouth. Yeah.
Sarah Yanti Beslow,
Mm-hmm.
Dr.
Augustine Corner.
Not Augustine Corner.
I mean, Dr. Corner. Yeah.
No, I'm not talking about his advisor. That's his advisor.
Yeah.
I'm talking about Dr. Emmanuel Ure,
Oh yeah, Yakpawulo, yeah.
LPP.
Mm-hmm.
And you also have Mr. Appleton, you know.
You have Mr. Lucino Camara from ACO.
So that's four opposition party members,
Mm-hmm.
leaders, you know.
Even you know there's the blind fellow, what is his
Yeah,
name?
Noah.
Noah, yeah, Noah is on that.
Yeah.
So
So
you
let's
see
go
how
to
broad-based the transitional team is.
Mhm.
You got Liberal Party also represented by Gabriel Smith.
Okay,
Yeah.
so let's go there.
Mm-hmm.
Leaders and belong to different political parties. But we all witness the very competitive nature of the presidential elections. The final results of the presidential elections are so close that a government of inclusion with a significant amount of appointed positions going to the CDC, which ended up with a whooping 49.36% of the final votes, will be a prudent way to help in national reconciliation.
So listen to this. Listen to how preposterous this man sounds.
It is.
Because of the proximity of the numbers in the runoff and the fact that the elections were tied, so an overwhelming amount of positions should be given to
So
CDCians
CDC.
in the Boakai-led government.
Mm-hmm.
Moses Sandy. That's very interesting. He's already dictating what they want.
Sure happen.
Is that how they'll cope with their grief and loss? Is that one of the things? Okay, let's
Yeah,
continue.
the guy is grieving, you know.
Let's continue.
But look, oh, you want
Yeah,
listening? Okay, yeah, playing.
Just a little bit more.
Yeah.
You see, so people making fun of
People
him.
making fun of him, yeah.
Now that the legislative and presidential elections are almost over, national focus has now turned to the processes which will lead to the final election of the officers and other leaders of the legislature, most especially that of the Speaker, Deputy Speaker of the House of Representatives, and the President Pro Temp of the Senate. For the legislature, I urge colleagues to first negotiate the leadership positions as a first resort. A full-fledged, competitive open election should be the last option. Our fellow citizens, in keeping with our new legislative calendar, the Senate will be in session until Friday, December 8th, to continue work and deliberation on agenda items which we previously agreed and on other items that may surface from the Senate floor and from the executive branch. After that, we'll return on January 15, 2024, in line with Article 32 of the Constitution, to begin the first session of the 55th legislature and get ready to participate in the inauguration of the next president on January 22, 2024, in line with Article 50. We expect the new president to present his legislative agenda for the year to the legislature on January 29. Let me once more thank all Liberians for a peaceful election, and may God continue to guide us and protect our country. Thank you.
Yeah.
So at least he gave a timeline for some of the things to happen, right?
Yes,
Yeah,
he
let's
did.
go back to the fact that he's asking for a government of inclusion.
But look, just before I even make reference to that, let me use this opportunity to recognize Mr. Gabriel Daniels, my in-law, and my sister Umo, who is in Australia, for the compliments. Thank you for the compliments. Really appreciate it, and thank you for being in the issues room. Now let's back to what let's get to what Senate Pro Temp Albert Chie was saying. Volcano, double standard is really bad. This man, for 6 years, he sat in the Senate. He saw the overrepresentation at the highest level in government. He said nothing to Mr. Weah. As far as he's concerned, everything was okay. And he proposes, oh yeah, the election results were so close. So the CDC now should get what? A huge chunk. Or we want a significant number of appointments of people from the CDC in Joseph Boakai-led government. He forgets to know that Mr. Boakai is not going to lead a transitional government. He was elected. So the decision as to whether Volcano goes into government or not, or Moses Sandy goes into government and not at the level of, being a senior president in government, that decision rests with him. So Albert Chie, you are in error. Do not overstep your boundary. This is not a transitional, arrangement somebody want. Yes, it is good to have a government inclusion, but you cannot detect that because it's out of your, that doesn't fall within your scope of work. I think you should be worrying whether your colleague is going to retain you as Senate Pro Temp or not, because election is coming up. There are a lot of strong guys that are in that Senate. You have Amara Conan there. You have the rescue mother there. You have Senator Dillon there. I know Senator Chie is not sleeping. He could be struggling with own, depression for now because his future is uncertain. So let him focus on that. We welcome the statement that the government should be inclusive, but he cannot decide who gets there and who doesn't.
And who gets more?
Yeah,
In
or
terms of
not.
chunk,
Yeah.
right? You're talking about a coalition alliance,
Yeah.
irrespective of Cummings' stance that he said he was neutral.
Mhm.
His vice standard bearer endorsed the CDC. There were many other political parties and stalwarts, Liberian citizens who endorsed the CDC. But in the same token, I don't think Ambassador Boyka will put his government uh, uh, at a detriment to
No.
please the opposition. Put it
No,
that
it's not
way.
gonna be. No, it ain't
Let's
gonna
put it
be
that
that.
way, right? So he will look for people, I'm sure, with substance, people with the requisite experience and qualification, and specialized skills, people who will be able to deliver in specific functions, not just putting people in places because they supported him,
Yeah.
but instead that he will be, sober enough to say, hey, this is your era, based on your resume, based on your track record. We've done the work. He should put a team together that would do some what we consider background check.
Absolutely.
Whether in Liberia or whether outside of Liberia, those candidates don't allow and let me not just
I mean, being honest,
no, I
Volcano.
wanted to
Yeah.
throw some names here, and this should be of no offense to anyone. Okay, it should be of no offense to anyone, but don't allow Jojo Boyka to bring you names that you don't even know, and then you
Yeah.
appoint because he's your son. Don't
Yeah.
allow Jacob Akoli to bring you a body then name that you don't know because they,
Yeah. Yeah.
that your nephew and that your protocol man. Those kinds of things.
Yeah.
You want to make sure that people who you're putting out there to represent the country
Right.
can deliver. And that's my advice to President-elect Boakai.
I
But to
agree.
come here now and say, oh, we must put all the CDCians, give them a loaf
Yeah.
chunk rather of the pie,
Yeah.
because the
Because
election
the king
got close.
second.
Yeah, the
Who told
election
you?
got close. That is unfortunate from Albert Chie. You had your time, you enjoy, and you still in position, like you said, Moses. He
Yeah.
needs to contemplate whether he would be retained in his current role,
Right.
rather than trying to meddle uh,
Yeah.
in
In
what.
the appointment, I mean the decision making regarding appointments in government.
Yeah. So I think you rightly said he was out of line. He shouldn't be doing that. It's 8 o'clock here tonight. We have one more topic, but I want to
Mhm.
open the lines.
Sure.
Hopefully folks will want to, join us here in the conversation. The number to call 404-272-2808. 404-272-2808. The number is posted right there on the screen. Uh, Join us here if you want to. We'll keep the lines open for another 15 minutes as we go along because we have memory lane and what type of country is this. We're wrapping up here at 8:30. Just so you know, don't drag. Be a part of
Take
the
advantage.
come in and let's hear from you. This is an important time in our country's history. We all have things to talk about. We all have, I'm hearing. Let's see what female rappers say. Too many of these guys don't really understand what democracy is. That's why they keep thinking and believing if it can be me, it can be. If it can't be me, I think she meant to
It
say
can be anybody. Yeah.
we got a long way to go in educating and reinforcing education in
Sure.
our people. Raymond Clark, thank you for joining us here tonight. So again, 404-272-2808 is the number to call. But Moses, as we present the next topic, which is our final topic here tonight,
Yeah.
President Weah demonstrated to a greater extent that he almost was tired with the job. Okay, a lot of people said it. Now I don't know when he woke up and said, "Oh, you know what, I want to be president for the second term," or was it just the fact that the same zealots and the insiders were pushing him because I think they're grieving more than the man. I'm
Of
being
course,
honest,
the people are.
they're
The
grieving
people
more
are.
than
The people are
Weah.
grieving. The
President
people.
Weah just can't wait for 2 more months to pack his bags and run away from the audit. I'm telling you. I'm hearing
Oh, my
people
man.
saying that this man is exempt from audits. I don't know how true that is.
No. I don't think that would be truthful
I,
because you
again, I'm
saw
just
what
saying.
happened to Judy Bryant.
Yeah. I'm just saying.
Ellen Johnson Sirleaf prosecuted Judy Bryant for what he did during the transitional period. What the law provides for that is that a former president cannot be prosecuted for what he or she did while in the executive mansion or while serving as president. But that doesn't in any way suggest that if the former president literally stole, it doesn't mean that you cannot be held for that. But take for example, if the former president say, "Hey, I remove Moses Sene because he did this," somebody cannot come after him because of that. The law provides for that. He's protected by the law.
So
Anything
the
that he did
audit,
legally.
yeah. So then, if the same audit says that the former president to be
Mhm.
built for the 9 condominiums in 6 months, and the
Yeah,
monies were proven to be the monies from the 16 billion and the $25 million.
that's a crime.
Yeah. So then, what do
That's
we
not
do?
legal. Then you will be held liable for that.
Okay.
That's a crime. Yeah.
Okay. So
The law say anything that he or she did legally, he or she cannot be prosecuted for that.
well, Flomo Livingstone said Article 61 of the Liberian Constitution protects the president. Is it in office or outside of office?
Outside of office from prosecution. The
Okay.
law provides for that. But the law doesn't say the former president cannot be audited.
Okay. So again, as I was saying, so the president is packing his bags.
Mhm.
He might have one more flight on the private jet, either to come here to the States, Florida.
Maybe you may go to Jamaica.
I'm coming, Florida, or Queens, Jamaica to meet with Roxy, pick up Roxy and head on to Kingston and go and drink some coconut water, lay in the white beach sands in one of those resorts and enjoy the turquoise blue water and just take it light till 2027 or 2028 because he's too popular, he's too famous. Then he comes back because he promises to come back
Mhm.
in 2029. Yeah, right. So
Yeah, the
2028
man
he
say he
comes
coming by
out.
2029. Yeah.
Yeah, so he comes back for campaign.
Mhm.
Do you think that would be what would happen and why he's out there? He would be making music, he will be playing sports, he will be fighting for first place in everything he does. He will maybe remember go into acting. Who
Oh,
knows?
but my man, you already lay out the man itinerary after the presidency. The man, the man is a very good entertainer. You saw him playing the samba, right?
Hmm.
Okay, he's a very good entertainer. Who knows? he may decide to go full time as a musician.
Or open a Ludo tournament in Jamaica.
Yeah, the man play ludus very well.
Oh, yeah.
Who knows? He could be
Somebody,
Labura best.
somebody calling. Somebody calling.
Yeah.
The caller from Rhode Island. Welcome to the show.
Yeah, it's Como Livingston calling.
Welcome,
Yeah,
Flomo.
from
It's a pleasure.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, I just have a few things to say. For me, the president to be true, I think the president is tired, man. I think he's tired to be a president. He just want to get it over with. But my question is, why is so? I mean, most of the citizens are so worried, like they're so concerned that the president, like leaving the presidency. Like you get at the city mayor running around, so panicking, and other government officials. Why are they so concerned? They are so concerned that the president himself leaving the presidency.
You want to hear my take on it?
Yes.
So when you were in a position, those guys were in position where they were not accounting for anything, and there were laws unto themselves. They had their own vaults in their homes, the piggy banks in the offices. They have unhindered access to the country's resources, whether in the appropriation in the budget for the ministries. We hear these things. They have names out there that people say when they audit them, they will get considerable amount of resources back for the country, for this government to start with. So that is why they're so aggrieved with everything that has happened, because there will be no more proximity to the things that they had unhindered access to, and without accountability. That's my take. Flomo.
Yeah, I mean, I think I agree with you. Definitely. I mean, because that authority won't be there. I mean, they will be audited. For me, they should be audited. So especially all sectors, the city mayor, we want to know the money that was allocated in the budget to clean the city. We want to know how did he spend that money, because the city is not clean, it's dirty. Hopefully they can audit all that department, But for me, 2029, to be true, I don't think George Weah will come back to Rome. And my last question to you guys: what do you guys think about the incoming president-elect cabinet that he named? Why you guys think on that? I will listen to you guys.
No, I'm not sure if he named a cabinet.
No, you're talking about the transitional.
You're not the cabinet, the transitional, the transitional thing.
Well, I mean, and I'll let Moses come in first.
I mean,
Volcano. I'll listen to you guys.
Yeah, we'll let you go.
Yeah. I mean, from my own assessment, I look at the list. I think it's very inclusive. It's very, very inclusive. You have representation from various groups. When Mr. Weah was elected, his transitional team was never made up like that. You have predominantly CDCians. You look at the list, you got somebody from ACO. You got somebody from MDR. You got the independent presidential hopeful, Beslow. You have LPP represented. You have an average Liberian, Noble, right? This guy, the blind fellow. Noah.
And not just average, but disabled.
Disabled. So you see how broad-based? Appleton, the man who will call the stranger, the guy who made Alexander Cummings insignificant to electoral process in Liberia. He's on there. But Mr. Weah and his people, Joel said it was their time. So they didn't pay attention to anybody. It was all about the CDC. So I think this is a good beginning. That's what I would say
so. I mean, and a transitional team, they're not going there to, take jobs or anything. No. They're just going there to ask the questions where things are, bring some evidence, show us the record so that we know what we're inheriting, so that we don't give excuses tomorrow. I think the formation of Boakai's government will come from a whole separate team. I'm sure you're going to put people together who will more or less, who will do the vetting. I'm sure that he will take some names from the coalition meaning
Mhm.
those
Yeah.
people who the alliance called it. He didn't call it.
Yeah, the alliance.
We'll take some names from the alliance who will be appointed by himself, uh,
Yeah.
and I'm sure his advisors will also, uh, you know, put forth some names
Yeah.
that may people who will have expertise, as I said, in certain areas,
Mhm.
to form part of his cabinet. Of course, yes, I'm very confident that he will go into the CDC and find some of the brightest
Of
in the
course.
CDC, and I'm not going to dispute that there are even great, good, intelligent folks in the CDC. Uh, and some of them played very minimal role.
Oh
The
yeah.
guys who you saw at the forefront, they just wanted to be closest to the president. They just wanted to be, the front runners,
The praise singers. The praise
yeah, the
singers.
praise
Yeah.
singers, yeah.
Yes.
But I'm sure that people in the CDC, some good people are in the CDC, and they will form part, but not uh 40
Oh,
49%.
Dean Wilson is calling.
But
You
my
want
man,
me
the
to put?
number is on the
Okay,
screen,
Dean. Yeah.
and Dean has
Yeah.
the number.
Yeah.
Let's
Mr. Wilson, just call
Rosen
404.
I'll put you behind the scene. So as I was saying, um, the absolute truth here is the government will be, inclusive, but not to the detriment of the winning party. I'm sure the winning party has had people committing to the winning party who, over the 6 years struggle with the process and will have, hoped in benefiting at some point. But overall, uh, we'll see. I'm just going to wait here in the issues room to see how inclusive, the process will be, and we're optimistic that President-elect Boakai has made his points clear. He's looking for uh, a government of inclusivity, but equally with substance and the good ones. Let me take Dean Wilson here. Dean, are you there?
Yes, sir.
Yeah,
Yes, sir.
yeah. Welcome to the show, my man. It's been a long time. You
I
disappeared,
know.
man.
I know. I know. I've been around. I've been
Yeah,
around. Very nice show. Am
Welcome,
I
Mr.
on?
Wilson.
you live. Go ahead.
You are live. Is he there?
I don't know what happened again. He seems to fade away.
Am I on?
You are on. You're
Go
live.
ahead, Mr. Wilson.
Okay, wonderful. It's a very wonderful show, guys. Three observations. One, sometimes that transitional team, it usually will send the minister proper, and then they're there receiving or taking over. So somewhere in there, Beslow and others, you see that
Can you change your
observation.
Can you
Maybe
change your
your
position a little
location,
bit?
Mr.
On the
Wilson.
other observation, change my position a little bit,
Yeah,
right?
yeah,
Just see if
because
you
Yeah.
can hear
you're
me
fading
better.
in and
Sure.
out. Yeah,
Let me move. Let me move around.
yeah. Go
While
ahead.
I still have you, very nice show. I'm saying sometimes on that transitional team, you can have the minister proper who coordinates. I mean, that's just an observation. The second observation I wanted to make, if you can hear me, is that all we want from the CDC is to be law abiding. All statements they're making, Koji, when the government comes in, the new government, we just have to have some form of law and order. The last observation I want to make is that it was incumbent on the CDC to audit the Unity Party government that was headed by Ellen Johnson Sirleaf. We don't want to mix the issue. It is the prerogative of Boakai elected to call for an audit of the CDC. Just I hope it's clear. If CDC missed that opportunity to audit Johnson Sirleaf government, that doesn't deprive Boakai from auditing the CDC. I just thought I would make those observations
And
wherever they
and, and
land.
and just before you leave, because they're tying it into witch hunting.
It's
How
not.
do
It's
you
not,
explain that?
sir. It's not. It's just common sense. Government is continuity. If George Weah felt he didn't have to audit Ellen, that was his prerogative.
That's
So
it.
everything was a mumbo jumbo. But if Boakai says, look, I want to audit the
government I'm taking over from, nobody should misconceive it and say, oh, wow, if you audit George Weah government, then we go back to Ellings. No. When George took over in 2017, he
2018.
had a right, 2018, he had a right to audit Elling. So let's not confuse it. If he didn't audit Elling, that was his decision. But that no one should compare the two and say, oh, well, and George didn't audit Elling and Boakai was part of or Elling's government. So Boakai now cannot ask for George government to be audited. It is simple. It's not, the two don't even relate. You didn't audit me, you took over. If I was part of that government, it doesn't matter. If I choose to audit you, I have a right to audit you. So George lost that opportunity. I just want us not to mix all these issues. But my key thing is that we saw so much lawlessness. We saw so much dysfunction. All I can say to the CDCians, our brothers, we are all Liberians. When government takes place in 2024, January 22, or whatever it is, just please understand you will abide by the law.
Mm-hmm.
The lawlessness needs to stop. You had 19 positions that were all over from the Southeast. Deputy Speaker, Speaker, President Pro Tem, President, and
Chief Justice,
authority, all of the parish
Chief Justice.
Nobody complained. So the nonsense from Chie shouldn't even be dignified. But all I want CDC to do, when Boakai takes over, the lawlessness will stop. Nobody's going to get killed. There wouldn't be any investigation. There wouldn't be any robbery. And you got...
Oh, we missed that part. Okay.
Thank you, Mr. Wilson. Excellent point. And Volcano, this is why I find it difficult. When you talk to these guys who come from the CDC, they say, "Oh, if you institute an audit now, that would be a witch hunt. Or if you want to audit the Weah administration, Mr. Boakai should also audit the Ellen Johnson Sirleaf administration." So, like Mr. Wilson said, it was the choice of Mr. Weah. He chose not to. So, if Mr. Boakai come and say, "My focus right now is the current administration," you cannot call that witch hunt. It's not witch hunt. It's just that the incoming administration wants to know where they are starting from, what they are inheriting.
Okay, Moses.
So yes.
So we now
Go ahead.
it's left. Let me just run quick to Mane Sumo's excuse me, memory lane. And tonight's memory lane is Monrovia Consolidated School System versus Mama Cook Sweet Soup. So that's MCSS. Okay. So Monrovia Consolidated School System versus Mama Cook Sweet Soup. In 1968, the Monrovia Consolidated School System, the MCSS, was founded. MCSS was founded as a gift from the government of the United States. By the 1970s, MCSS students became competitive across the nation. Hard nuts to crack. But Wismore, what happened to MCSS today? Have they changed from MCSS to MCSS as our private school colleagues used to joke us? Sad. You remember Lab High, later named Tottenham High, Charlotte Talbot, later named Monrovia Central High, Talbot High, later named Detour High, Matilda Newport, Boswen, Monrovia Demonstration School, W.F. Walker, first and second, G.W. Gibson, Richard Nixon, Alexander Glenn Tutman, Moses K. Weaver Elementary, aka Opa School, New Crewtown Junior High School, Point 4 Elementary. We can add to the list. Those of us whose parents were poor became reliant on the MCSS, and we were not let down. But then, education at MCSS was very competitive, and when private schools beheld MCSS, it was with trepidation due to their scholarly posture. You remember when it came to Meet the Challenge, Teen Time Quiz, Shema Brown Show, and other school competitions, MCSS students excelled. Oh, where is MCSS of yesterday? Those days, MCSS aspiring superintendents were thoroughly vetted. For this reason, some past superintendents demonstrated savvy of administrative skills. You'll remember superintendents like J. Hoodoo Manston, Violet Fly, and Joseph Kofa. They were the cream of MCSS. But I have been sad, so very sad, over the last decade to see MCSS become futile. So let me ask, where did Ellen Johnson Sirleaf recruit Adolphus Benjamin Jacobs from? George Manuel Weah. From where did you recruit Isaac C. Lakpo Zawolo? Where did ever served as principal of a Piazza school? But I'm happy lately, so happy, very happy, when the Liberian people recently spoke. So Boakai, Boakai, how many times did I call you? We want our MCSS back. It's a shame that our students can no longer make their marks in the WIAC and other national, national, and international competition. So please pay attention. President-elect Boakai, bring us the old MCSS. And this one is by Mr. Dr. Manin Sumo, Monrovia Consolidated School System, the MCSS versus Mama Cook Sweet Soup, written here in the issues room. And would like to thank you for listening. And those of you who are students from the MCSS schools, not Moses. Moses is from the.
No, I went to MCSS, both and before Biravia.
Oh, okay. So you went to MCSS.
Yeah,
I went to MCSS, but mine was
Mhm.
Montserrato Consolidated School System. So you had
Yeah.
Montserrato, and then you had Monrovia.
Monrovia, yeah.
Montserrato
I
Consolidated.
went to Boston, yeah.
So yes, well, those were the good old days, Moses. We got quality education.
Yeah.
Thank God for the the competition back then. You know, before the Civil War, we were never doing zigwe. We were never doing Jose.
We
We were,
had
I mean,
assignments, my man.
I didn't even do politics like that. Even though
No.
yeah, in high school we did our internal school politics
Yeah,
on
school
a
politics.
national level. The
No.
way everybody not doing politics at all levels, we didn't do that. But what type of country is this, Moses? Now that in this time when young people should be learning to position themselves, they are all politicians.
They're all politicians.
What type of country is this?
Everybody carrying tote bag. Yeah, you see them on the queue, right?
Yeah.
The country is militarized. What type of country is this?
What type of country is this that the sitting mayor? Every time they got speak, he got so picking them behind, Jared, they ready to go fight. I mean, you look at the formation of the people around Jefferson Koijee, that's so picking.
Forget it.
And you see the mayor of the first city of the republic.
Yeah.
The man people around him don't even be dressed.
No.
He the only one sometimes when he dresses well, but all the other people around him are so thugs. The
Yeah,
appearances.
carry all the toss behind.
What type
What
of
type
country
of country is this? Where 2 months from now there will be no city mayor. So city mayor Jefferson Koijee will be a thing of the past.
And what type of country is this? That's why he can't stomach it. He's so bitter over this whole result of the election, and he can't accept it. What type of country is this?
There's 2 months from now, my man. All the morale gone. Whatever country is there where an incumbent president says, "Yeah, I accept the result, but I will come back in 2029." Whatever country is there. The man said, "Oh, my Boakai, you beat me, oh, but I'll go and re-strategize."
But after he made a concession speech, then he went back to the man and he said, "My man, you messed me up. I had too much hope.
Yeah.
I'm not here lying to me. You made me to put $50 million aside just for campaign. And Eugene Nangbe, you call yourself campaign chairman. But how could Weah fool himself?
Yeah.
Eugene Nangbe left you in the mud.
And
He
John
went
to
with Ellen
UP.
Johnson Sirleaf.
Yeah.
Honor the arrangement to protect Ellen. She gave you your picking back.
Mhm.
Your man Eugene Nangbe. You
Yeah.
decided to smoke the peace pipe.
Mhm.
Then you brought the man on board. You put the man to information. You move from there, you put in the maritime. Molu, you sideline the pole on my board. The same thing we're talking about Southeasterners, right?
Yeah.
He brings his Southeasterner body
Man, Eugene.
and made him chairman of the campaign. That's what he got.
Man, chairman of the
Who
campaign.
gave him the first presidency?
Molu.
Aha. That's the
Molu gave
woman
it,
talk. So sedition, then you look at the thing we're talking now. Let's
Oh
go.
no, you know what? It wasn't Molu. Molu was part of the leader. It was Magay. When they
Okay.
won, Nathan Magay was chairman of the CDC. So after he became Minister of State, then how come the transition to Molu?
Okay.
Yeah. But Molu did play a critical role in
Critical role.
2017. Yeah.
You just grab Eugene number from nowhere. You made him campaign chairman. That's how the man can deliver. The man can deliver.
Yeah.
You know, so you yourself did it to yourself, Mr. President. Let Tosso.
That man did.
You know, you did it to yourself. But what type of country is this, Ahmad Freeman, when the president owns a private jet and helicopter in a third world country?
Yeah. What type of country is this?
What type of country is this?
What type of country is this that the president doesn't go to sleep since they announced the election result?
So Gabriel and Daniels says here, what type of country is this when the city mayor of Monrovia, who could not organize a simple cleanup campaign, wants to organize rebellion? I like that one.
That's a good one, Gabriel.
I like that one. Simple cleanup.
Yeah, cleanup. Mercury.
They didn't appoint him to be what?
Well, cleaner, eh?
Yeah, that ball or something.
The garbage ball.
Garbage ball, yeah. But now he's able to organize rebellion because he can't accept the result.
Yeah, man, we ain't taking anything people do with sport. Yeah.
In the beginning, you know the beginning he can speak English?
Oh yeah, my man, that rubbish, you know.
The man said the empirical evidences.
I don't know why. I wonder he understands the word empirical.
No, he just.
How can you talk
yes,
about election result being empirical? Nobody doing scientific research
here. And looking at center and mean and deviation, the statistical, you know.
People counting numbers and tell you the who voted. He say empirical.
It's empirical evidence that the elections was rigged by the opposition, stolen by the opposition. Hey, Jefferson, man, leave that thing. Leave it.
Yeah. So what
is this? Where you call domestic terrorism an honest accident?
Yes, that was a huge mistake on the part of Senator-elect Corner.
Yeah.
And what is coming out now, Volcano, it seems to suggest that the whole thing was staged. I listened to the gentleman's father-in-law today. He said prior to the accident.
When you say stage.
When I say stage, it was that people.
Let's take 2 minutes now because we're wrapping up.
Yeah. You know, he said it was staged. He said his son-in-law gave so many conflicting stories. And then he got information that prior to going up to the UP headquarters, this gentleman picked up some CDCians.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So that could have been stage managed. Okay. It was nothing accidental. It was planned. It was executed.
Okay.
That's what the father-in-law thinks. I mean, the man was on spawn live.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, folks, we want to thank you. Let's do this last one quick from Ahmad Freeman. no idea how Umbo got one here. We'll come back to Amma. What type of country is this? That CDCians are living in denial of the elections results.
Yeah.
My friend, what type of country is this? When an outgoing representative claims he will have 10,000 people to protest, but did not win his district with 10,000 people. Interesting. That's a good one.
That you made a cow's grill.
Yeah.
A cow's grill saying you're poor people in the street.
My man,
It's-
listen, Moses.
yeah.
Those guys can't believe it. Those guys can't believe it, my man. Those guys, they can't understand what happened. You know how when something surprises you to the
But that's
point,
it.
yeah,
Yeah.
you thinking, you're trying to process.
You
It
just
will
can't.
take them this last 6 years to process.
They still
Because
process how this thing happened.
They won't be able to really to recover
Yeah.
instead of going into campaign mode. All I think what Jefferson Koijee talking, I just I hear the people using the term taba taba. Ain't going, you know.
Yeah, so the people are still in denial, and this is what happens with Volcano. If they deal with that for the next 6 months, you know what's gonna be happening. I mean, you know what's gonna happen to them when any of them go to see a clinical social worker, they go to see a
And where those kids?
psychologist.
I mean, stop it, man.
They will diagnose them with
thank you.
what clinical. I mean, they're gonna be diagnosed with clinical depression.
Let's stop it. Go. We ain't got psychologists.
No, I just seen something.
Psychiatrists.
But I'm just speaking, from my experience. You know,
Thank you.
after 6 months,
Thank you, everyone.
to be in
Thank
that
you
category.
for joining us here tonight. We'll be back here on Tuesday.
Well, I can't sleep, my man.
More presentations here on trending issues from Liberia. Moses, Sandy, Volcano, Shelton, on behalf of Alphonso, who couldn't make it here with us tonight. We say thank you all for being with us. Have a good one. Continue to enjoy your Thanksgiving weekend. We're still in the mode. And, thank you. Thank you, everyone. Thank you. Good night.